Welcome back to Amour la Petite Maison. Join us as we turn this into this. The Bennet house from the 2005 Pride and Prejudice film, but in 12th scale, kinda. Learn with us as we recreate the home from our favorite movie.
Okay, well, we are going to talk about the windows today. The windows in this house are somewhat of their, would you not agree? They're kind of their own character.
Yeah, they definitely play a big role in the film.
Yes. I love the old antique look of them. And
in the house today, didn't they paint them white?
The modern house today, this house, yes, the the window panes are white. But in the movie, they're gray, which I like better. I like the old gray rustic look.
And you also pointed it out to me last time we were watching the film that it's almost like a dollhouse, how they film from the outside of the windows and they kind of shoot to different rooms.
I used little tiny craft sticks that I got from Hobby Lobby, acetate sheets, Gorilla Glue, which is my favorite glue. I mixed the paint with cornstarch and grout to give it that kind of rustic, kind of old look. I used cardboard for the actual windows themselves, and I'll put together a little template.
And where did you get the grout from?
The grout I just picked up at Home Depot.
Okay. Is there any specific grit or anything?
Nope, just any grout. So basically what I'm doing here is I just made a base piece there with cardboard. I painted them white because these were my prototypes. But you would want to paint all the pieces, all the cardboard pieces before you put the windows together. But anyway, so this is the base piece that's going to go up against the house. And so I'm just cutting the cardstock.
Template pieces out.
Yeah, my little template pieces out.
Okay.
And then this, that little piece you see there on the right, that's gonna go over the windows that slide up and down to hold them in. So here we're just working on making, I forgot how many windows I have to make.
A lot.
It's a lot.
52 or something.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I think I got, 8 done?
Yeah.
8 out of a million.
And this part of the tutorial is pretty simple. I remember when editing, I knew exactly what was happening. But later on, there gets to be more layers involved with the sliding mechanism, which I think is the coolest part and makes your windows stand out from a lot of dollhouse windows.
Now, these are those little sticks that I just picked up at Hobby Lobby. They're kind of like toothpicks, but they're square. And I'm putting those around the interior border of the window because the little acetate sheets are going to slide. Well, one acetate sheet is going to be glued down, and then the bottom acetate sheet is going to slide up and down inside of that wood frame. And on all honesty, I kind of measured as I went. I kind of had an idea of the sizing I wanted, but it all kind of changed. And every dollhouse is so different. And once you start actually putting stuff in, we all know the measurements end up changing.
But the basic idea is you figure out the size that you want on the outside, you cut it to be that size, you make it hollow, and then you glue down these sticks in a border.
Yeah.
And then you measure out the smaller piece for the top.
Yeah. And that little bottle is another glue that I love. The little pink bottle that's glitter glue. That's my second favorite glue.
And the bigger bottle is the Gorilla Glue?
Is the Gorilla Glue. The Gorilla Wood Glue. I do a lot of scrapbooking, so I use the little bottle, the glitter glue, when I'm in a lot of my paper projects, because it's just a super great glue, and it works here too. So here, that's the template for the acetate sheet for the window. I'm just making sure it's going to fit.
And the top and the stationary piece, those are the same size.
They're the same size. And the top one is the one that I end up gluing in. And that piece there, that's the one that's going to hold the windows in so they don't fall out.
It looks like you're just cutting the template for the top piece.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm doing multiple of them because I said, I have a million windows to make. Just double checking my measurements, making sure it all is going to work. I'm going to cut that piece out. And here I'm going to work now on the acetate sheets. I'm going to make the little window frames.
And those are just thin strips of cardboard you cut?
Yep, and I didn't really even measure them. I just kind of eyeballed them and just cut little thin strips. I don't know, like maybe the width of a toothpick. I thought about using wood, but I think the cardboard was just a little easier to work with. And here I'm going to paint everything first. And this is the latex paint mixed with the cornstarch. The cornstarch takes out the glossiness of the paint, so it makes it matte. And then I added grout to give it a little bit of grit and make it look a little more aged, like there had been layers and layers of paint through the years painted on there. Yeah, so here I am just kind of eyeballing and just cutting little strips. And this is a Copic pen, and I'm just coloring the sides of the little strips. It's a lot quicker than trying to paint all the sides. Just color them in and
acetate.
Yep, I'm cutting the little acetate sheets. And these little acetate sheets, I believe, are 2.5 by 2.5 inches. So that's another way you could work it too, is just decide how big you want your windows to be and then just work your way out to the measurements of the frame of the window around what size you want the windows to be. And I'm guesstimating on this whole thing, the size of the windows and everything. So I just guesstimated it was approximately 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet, which would equal 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. I did the 1 inch equals 1 foot measurement for this dollhouse. Now this dollhouse might not actually be to scale of the real house, but like I said, we're just kind of winging it.
Now you're gluing the strips onto the acetate sheet.
Yes, so I have the template of what I want, the one window square. So let's just say example, this is going to be the top window, and then the bottom is going to go up and down. So I'm just eyeballing it, and I put the template underneath the acetate sheet, and I'm holding it down with washi tape, and then we're just gluing them in.
And you're just measuring out the little individual pieces.
Yeah. And here I'm just using Gorilla Glue still. Gorilla Glue works, in my experience so far, with acetate pretty well. I guess time will tell. So here I'm just fitting it, making sure it's going to fit.
And you don't put anything on the sides, like no cardboard on the sides, framing it?
No, see how it's just laying, it's just going to lay on top of that little interior frame there.
Okay.
On the top one that is solid, I do glue the sides and the top of the window into the cardboard and those little wood pieces. So that top piece is going to be just stationary.
Okay.
And then here I'm putting in little like brackets of wood underneath, so that that piece that slides, it just glides.
Oh, okay.
And it works, yay!
So it sits on top.
It sits on top. And you want to make sure that that bottom piece on the window that's being glued in, that bottom frame there is going to match up to the top frame of the window that slides. It rests on top of it, because you want the windows just overlapping for whatever, I don't know what measurement that would be, probably, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or less. And here I'm lining up the top window with the bottom window so that I can make sure that those lines going up and down are, they're kind of matching each other. So as the window is going up and down, they're overlapping squarely, so that it just makes the window look nice and clean. And
yeah, it looks great. Everything's painted just like that.
Yep, it's all painted. Now I'm just going to put it all together. And once you figure out your measurements, it all kind of comes together pretty easily. At first I was trying to figure it out, and I watched a video, and I'll link the video down below. I can't think of the channel name right now, but I'll link it below. So I watched a few videos on how to make dollhouse windows, and the one that made it click for me, this was basically the way he did it, and so I just tweaked it to make it work for me. But the basic concept was his. There's a lot of resources on YouTube. That's my go-to, whether it's fixing a dryer or creating a dollhouse window. I'm always looking on YouTube first. Here I'm just making sure everything is square, lining everything up, making sure the window can open smoothly.
And now you're gluing on the top piece.
Yep, the top bracket that's holding the windows in. I think I did like 2 or 3 prototypes first before I started creating actual windows, just to make sure I understood the steps and understood like how the mechanisms of the window and how it's going to work.
Looks like from the inside maybe they painted that blue that they, or do you think
it's a
gray again?
Bluish gray that they use throughout the whole house, and it kind of changes color depending on the lighting.
I love that. Here you're just installing the windows on the outside.
Yep, making sure that they are straight.
And then are you just taping them in and then you're going to glue them?
I'm just masking them in, and then I'm going to do the bricks.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.